and hopefully you might be able to be joined by the man Remy Minute. Good evening to Doc Bryan. Good evening to John Millington. Certainly miss your services here, but we will hold the fort until you do get back. The Ducks United team sees number 22 Andres Boyne, number 15 Caleb Bryan, number 2 Ashton Dumas, number 13 Michael Ferguson. Good to see him back. Number 12 is the striker Jonathan Gishard. Number 1 Darius Lanton in goal. Number 14 Jelani Lawrence. Interesting. Number 14 Jelani Lawrence. Number 19 DeAndre Marshall. Number 3 Tanzania O'Donoghue. Number 16 Jermaine Ricketts. And rounding out the side, it's Jose Torres. So there is no McIntyre, Akeem McIntyre, better known as Mata. He's the captain. And certainly there is no Miguel Abraham. So what is probably a different setup, different sides. Yeah, the likes of Jelani Lawrence. That names rings a bell as a goalkeeper who one time who keep goal for kicks, actually. National goalkeeper as well. We'll see how well he match up here on the field. But it's the Ducks United with the kickoff. They are kicking from left of screen to our right. And they are with position. Here is Marshall. We'll give you the Uprising team in just a brief moment. Here's a flick on there from Jelani Lawrence. But not on the same page here is Caleb Bryan. Dispossessed there by Marshall. And it's going to be a throw in there to the Uprising team. The Uprising team sees Kian Andrew, Alexander, Matthew Brown, Colin Cannonier, Adrian Carty, Darian Carty in goal, number 8 Jordan Dean, number 6 Denny Derrick, number 7 Jelani Francis. His brother wears Defari Francis wears number 7 short. Here is Bowens. He goes as a break momentarily. Goes back to the goalkeeper there. Lanton in goal. He finds Dumas. Almost a careless pass. Here, ball being kept into play by the player there in Marshall. And they push it down the line. And they were saying, how come the player didn't run onto that one? But way wide, and the ball rolls outside for a goal kick. Here is the Uprising team. They're trying to build from the middle. Jordan Dean. Here is Nat. It comes wide to the number 18 player as I round out the lineup. Trey Gums wears the number 5 shirt. Joseph Nathaniel Gums wears the number 11 jersey. And Roshani Gums Richardson, he is wearing the number 15 shirt. Your pardon, had to step away from the mic there just a little bit. But we are 3 minutes into the 4th minute of play. Still 0-0 here between these two teams. It's the Uprising in the grey and black versus the Ducks United in the green and white, and I can tell you if Ducks will go, if Duck will win the 3 points. Here is Donahue trying to get around the player there, but picking up a corner for his troubles. A win for the Ducks United will put them in the number 1 spot at the moment. They are on 10 points. They have just defeated the Roaring Lions in their last match by 1-0. And at the moment in the 3rd spot, trailing the Eagles Claw, who is the only team. Here's a corner kick coming across, and goal! That one was so easy there. And players are wondering what's happened, but we're just waiting to see. That looks like the man Marshall, who is playing in the left back spot. Well, not left back, sorry, the right back position. He went and took the corner kick, and the ball floated over the goalkeeper's head. The defender's head hit the inside of the left upright, and ricocheted back across and into the back of the net for a really tame goal here to open the campaign here for the Ducks United. So they are 1 goal to the good in the 5th minute of play from the boot of DeAndre Marshall. So again on the back foot, the Uprising team has got quite a lot of work to do. Here is Simba, goes back to Darius Lanton. Lanton returns the favor. Simba comes to the goal score there in Marshall, but Trey just tracking back and just cutting that pass out. But the ball rolls into touch for a throw-in. And so Dax, if they do win this match, will go top on 13 points from 5 matches. Here is a true pass. Ball being put in the box, but cleared out there by Matthew Brown. Donahue goes wide to Torres. Torres, good dip of the shoulder there. Good move by Torres, but a little bit on the slow side of things. And that's wow. Wow. You can hear it from the spectators on the outside saying no, no, no. But the referee there in books pointed to the penalty spot, and it's going to be a penalty kick there for the troubles of Torres there, and very soft one if you ask me, but I can take a look at my replays, but I could hear the dismay of coming from the few spectators who are in the stands here, thinking that one should not have been. And penalty kick taken by Jonathan, goalkeeper, dove the right way, but dove all over the ball, and it's into the back of the net for goal number 2 in the 8th minute of play from the boot of Jonathan Gishard. So 2-0 already, and we have not even completed 10 minutes of play yet, and so it appears as though it's going to be another long night for the Uprising team. The Uprising team, they are certainly without the services of Ashan Hodge. He slated to leave to go for cricketing duties, but they will just have to regroup the Uprising team and get themselves together and see whether or not they can start to be a little bit more competitive. Here is dispossessed the Alexander, cross from Marshall, but Matthew Brown is in the way and clears, and that's going to be another corner kick. Remember, they would have conceded from the first one, and they certainly will be looking to see whether or not they can keep this one out. So if the Ducks win tonight, they will go to the number 1 spot. They'll go to 13 points from 5 matches. The Eagles, they have yet to play their 5th match, so they would have a game in hand. The Diamonds so far would have played 5 matches as well. And here is a corner taken, heads going up, and still not out of the woods. And Trey Gums eventually clears for a throw-in. A win for the Uprising team will put them in the number 5 position, not having won a match as yet. And here is Marshall, one of the goal scorers, dribbles across the field and gets past the youngster there. Here is the Ducks United, still building. Ricketts finds Gishard. Gishard goes to Torres. Torres tries to come across goal, and a shot from Jonathan Gishard, and that goes over the bar. So Uprising, Trey Gums has 2 cards today to date for Ducks United. Akin McIntyre is someone in front of me showing here where what transpired on that play. And here is Jordan Dean, find Trey Gums. He's been hounded by Marshall. Good move there by Trey Gums. Find Denny Derrick. Derrick looks up, finds Matthew Brown. Matthew Brown missed pass, and Jermaine Ricketts cleans up, trying to find Marshall running down the wing. Can return the favor, and another pass from Lawrence there, wearing the number 14 jersey. Marshall had already made up his mind to head back, and so ball goes into touch for a throw-in. So McIntyre, well, he's not playing today, so I'm certainly not in any jeopardy and picking up card number 3, which will see him miss the next match for the Ducks United. Here is Simba Boynes. Finds Donahue. Donahue goes down the line, but only find the boot of the Uprising player. Donahue again comes back to Dumas, aka Passion. Turns, finds Caleb Bryan. Caleb finds Jonathan Gishard. Jonathan Gishard is hounded there by Matthew and Despodes. Here is Francis trying to come away with it. Now he is hounded there by Bryan, but turns around, comes inside, find Nat, number 11 player. He goes to Trey. Trey's a little bit slow on it, and Marshall closing down quickly. Trey could only put that one into touch for a throw-in. So far, Jermaine Ricketts, he has scored some 3 goals. Jonathan Gishard, not his prolific self this year, he has scored only 3 goals. And Sherman Charles has got 2. Here is Ducks United on the attack again. Torres bicycle, and the ball goes into the back of the net. It's just rubbish and comical there. A cool, tame, what we call light bicycle kick. Maybe just a roll of the pedal, if you can ask me that. But a tame bicycle kick bounced right in front of the goalkeeper, Darian Carty, in goal. And he couldn't hold it. It's as if the ball took a little deviation, and it's ended up into the back of the net for goal number 3 in minute number 13. So, not too sure whether the Uprising team has really came to play this evening, because certainly don't look so, apart from that penalty. they look very disjointed and very scrappy. A football team. Here's the ball being booted upfield now for Denny Derrick, but Marshall runs onto it, picks it up, controls, looks in front, trying to find the player there in Ferguson, but loses out. Good move from Derrick, trying to find Trey. Good move from the Uprising team, but Dumas there in the defense, and he's pushed all over the place. The ball is with Jermaine Ricketts now. He finds Jonathan, Caleb Bryan. Caleb Bryan down the wing to that looks like Lawrence, but Lawrence doesn't look too as though he's carrying an injury. He doesn't have the speed for the wing and couldn't run to keep up with the player there in Alexander, and well, he just was able to put it into touch for a throw-in. A throw taken quickly. Finds the boot of Trey Gums. He boots the ball upfield, but Jermaine Ricketts recovers position. He goes wide to Donahue, all by himself. Cuts the crab torn, find Torres, and Torres trying to return the favor, but not being able to do so. And it was like Francis trying to play the ball in over the goal line, but not enough legs, and he had to ended up playing it and then getting a throw out of it. But it's all the possession with Ducks United and all the dominance with the Ducks United. They are at the moment leading some 3-0. We've just reached the quarter hour mark, and it's 3-0 to the Ducks United. Here is Caleb Bryan dispossessed there from Matthew, and it's going to be a throw-in. Well, it's an infringement there, deep into the defense there for the Uprising team. So the leading goal scorer so far in this tournament. Here's the shot and goal, and Carty again getting to the ball and spilling it. It's going to be a throw-in to, a corner kick, the third one. And asking, there was a shot and goal, away from goal. Carty got to the ball, but couldn't keep it in his grasp, and the ball trickled over the goal line for a corner kick number 3 to be taken by the left-footed Jermaine Ricketts. Here's a quick pass to Marshall, and the ball goes past Marshall. He finds Michael Ferguson. Ferguson's hounded there by Derrick. Ball comes over field again, finds Marshall, but this time he's offside, and it's going to be a kick there to the Uprising team. Dean finds Anderson. Good move from Anderson, but can't keep the ball in play, and it's going to be Ricketts now. Goes all the way back to Andres Boynes, who has a very heavy strap leg. So do the likes of Lawrence. They both are carrying this heavy strapping on the right leg, so maybe just favoring a bit of a hamstring. Here is a pass to Marshall on the right side. He's trying to find the player there in Marshall, but this time smartly coming was Darian Carty. This time he collects cleanly and boots the ball upfield, finds Dumas to Boyne to Bryan to Ricketts to Ferguson to Marshall. Bryan again goes for the wide to Donahue this time. They're switching up the play a bit. Here is Donahue trying to find Torres, but the ball is cut out there. Looks like by Francis. And it's going to be a throw in there to the Ducks United. They are large and in charge here and will certainly go to the top of the table if the scoreline stays as is. Here is some trouble. Let's please play back there by Lawrence, but Jonathan Gishard can't handle. Ball is with Caleb Bryan. He's trying to get to two players there. Dispossessed momentarily, but Jermaine Ricketts never present. Here is Michael Ferguson. Finds DeAndre Marshall. Marshall well, can't get around Anderson. Anderson well, says if you think you're going to beat me easy, that's not going to happen. And here is a mess of things made there from Trey Gums. And just where he passed the ball from, he's not even running back. I see some words there between the two players. Here is a shot from Ricketts, trying to see if he can at least spring a surprise or two there to the goalkeeper there in Darian Carty. But that one sails wide. Here is the Uprising, trying to build from the back. And Francis put the ball into touch for a throw-in to take in quickly. Bryan. Ricketts. Here's a two pass, but not. Nathaniel Hodge cleans up. And the ball is punched up field, but only to find the head of Ferguson. Ferguson finds that looks like Bryan, and referee not in the way, and so he has to call back possession. Ball putting up on the referee there in the middle to close the play. Here is a true pass to Jonathan Gishard. He looks up, turns, goes further to his right, further away from goal. Bryan picks the ball up, trying to find Ricketts. Ricketts loses out. The ball is booted upfield. Here is the Uprising. They're trying to counter-attack. Uprising. Francis. Good move, Francis. Gone past the man Donahue there. Still looking for some help. Still going. It's Francis. Cross the ball, and the tall figure there of Bowen in the middle, but the ball was dropping right on the boot of Danny Derrick, but the head of Simba Bowen in the way, but not out of the woods yet. Still Uprising. Most promising they have looked for from the start of this match. Here's Trey Gums, blocked. Comes back to Anderson, who has to chase for it. Marshall gives it away to Marshall. Marshall also gives it away to Derrick and recovers possession. Here is Marshall trying to get to two players, but can't get to those players at all. And there's a tussle and a heavy fight and competition in between these two players there in Marshall and Alexander. Yes. Pass there from Lawrence, but right into the body there of Ricketts. But Michael Ferguson cleans up, trying to find Torres, and the ball is cut out there nicely from Francis. He finds wearing number 16 shirt. So it's Shaquem Lewis, but not too sure his name is, but Shaquem Lewis, the number on the sheet here says Shaquem Lewis, but that's certainly not Shaquem Lewis. But it's Torres finds Jonathan Gishard. He has space, crosses, blocked there by Matthew Jordan, and the ball is going to now roll over the goal line, and it's going to be corner kick number 4. Yes, corner kick number 4. 24th minute of play. 3 goals to nil. Favor of the Ducks United. Goals coming from the boot of DeAndre Marshall, Torres, and penalty taken there by Jonathan Gishard. Here's the corner kick coming in again. Heads going up, and this time the ball eludes everyone and goes over the goal line for, well, did seeing here where the referee saying it did touch the head of an Uprising player, but that appears as though it eluded all the jumps from both players there, both the Ducks and the, well, I'm not sure. Eventually say, well, it's a goal kick. So here's a goal kick taken quickly. Players for the Uprising team still at the back. Both of the Michael Ferguson trying to chest control. Here the ball, heavy touch there from Marshall. John Dean. Who's here is Nat dribbling. He's not going nowhere. Passes to Trey Gums. Trey Gums almost being dispossessed there by Michael Ferguson, but a little bit of shielding there. Ball goes wide. Heavy touch there from the young man over on the far side. There in that Francis. No, that's Canada actually. Here is Lawrence. Finds wickets. Finds Marshall, who was trying to find wickets again, but apart from that corner kick that Marshall has scored, he has not looked the part at all, not look settled, getting into the wars with Alexander and not being able to get the better of it. Here is Lawrence, finds Marshall trying again to get around Alexander, sorry. Now he does so. Passes, but finds the boot of the ever-present Matthew Brown there in defense. Matthew pushes out the ball to Trey Gums. Trey goes long to who? I don't know. That ball was always going to be picked out. They're trying to go way wide there to the youngster over there on the far side and can't do so. Ball is with Ducks again in defense. Simba finds that of Ricketts. Ricketts goes wide to Donahue. Donahue finds Brian to Gishard. Gishard turns, lays it off to Michael Ferguson. Michael Ferguson looks further to his left and right, and finds Marshall. Marshall dribbling for all his worth again. In the way is the boot of Matthew Brown, and they're reading that pass and picking Marshall. And he's not too pleased at all, but certainly not having a good game. Here's DeAndre Marshall. And what I think he's trying a little bit too hard. He really needs to just so we're up 3 goals to nil. Try and play some good constructive football. Here is Caleb Bryan. Finds Marshall. Marshall comes back to Michael Ferguson. Ferguson finds Ricketts. He will shoot from outside, and a parry and a goal. But the linesman says offside. But what is the referee doing? Well, I'm not sure, but the ball has gone full speed, and the referee still with his hands up in the air. But Here is Torres, who was a little bit upset that he couldn't um, be given goal number 2, but the assistant referee on the close side here to us say, well, that was certainly offside. Looks a little bit touch and go to me there, but he will certainly look at the replays and see. Here is the Ducks United trying to build on their 3-goal lead, but Dumas can't find the player over there on the left side of defense, and it's going to be a throw in there taken quickly there by the Uprising. Finds Cannoneer to Francis, and they're running out of space. There is the player there for Uprising. A throw in there taken quickly there to Caleb Bryan. Caleb Bryan finds Donahue. Donahue dispossessed, but in the meantime picking up a throw for ball was played out there by Francis. Just tick under the 30-minute mark. Still 3-0 in favor of the Ducks United. Ducks looking to go top with this match, winning in this match tonight. Here is we break momentarily there, but here is the Ducks United again. Marshall trying to go in the middle, but I think he's not looking up and just making the pass a little too quick, and so for the third time in asking, not being able to pull that pass that he's trying to make. Here is Alexander, find Gums. Gums finds Derek. Derek dispossessed by Brian. Here is Jonathan Gishard. He crosses, but Matthew Jordan, in an effort to head the ball away, the ball just ricochets from his head and rolls into the hands of the goalkeeper there in Darian Carty. He tosses it out there to Brad Cannoneer. Cannoneer to Francis. And the cross coming in, miscontrol, and eventually cleared there by Simba Boyne to Brian. Again, almost giving it away there was Marshall. And certainly that's, from my vantage point here, that player is not offside. But here is the Ducks United. Ball goes all the way back to Darius Lantern, who's had quite an easy time so far in goal, not too bothered. Wickets in midfield, driving forward, find Jonathan Gishard, but he bumped into Nat, who knocks the ball out. Gishard trying to recover his position. Here is Torres, cross coming through, head going up there by the player there in Lawrence, but cleared away there. Jordan Dean collects, certainly needs some more help there. A little bit careless there, Jordan Dean shields the ball well, and in the end picks up a free kick. Here is Jordan Dean and Francis goes wide there to his brother. Well, not his brother, but that looks like Cannoneer. Oh, it's actually his brother. They look so similar. Dribbling across the face of goal, but cut out there by Simba Boyne. More Simba Boyne coming away with it. He finds Jermaine Ricketts in just 10 yards away from the halfway line. He finds Brian. Brian just leaves it for Ricketts, who find Torres. It's acres of space and puts the ball inside, and I don't know why Lawrence didn't take a shot with his right foot, but maybe that heavy strapping not was favoring it, but electing to pass to Jonathan Gishard, who did have a shot, but the ball rolls wide of the goalkeeper's left upright. Here's a goal kick taken quickly. Alexander goes to Nat. Nat returns the favor, and ball is being dispossessed there. Lawrence finds Ricketts. Ricketts looking to shoot and does so. And again, shot again. Yeah, but this time didn't roll as far as the first one. But Torres was right on the doorstep again. And I'm hearing a whistle, but I'm not seeing for what. The referee was running, going to the sideline. I don't know what's going on, what is happening here. But play has been held up. I don't know why, but another drop ball. Here is Alexander. Finds Denny Derrick. Denny Derrick has an opportunity. Finds Alexander. Alexander is being hounded there by two players, and in the end, Caleb Bryant dispossesses him. Finds Ricketts. Ricketts finds Marshall, who just leaves the ball for Gishard. The AR had his flagged up. Cross again. Here is Ricketts finding Brian. Brian back heels looking for Torres, but this time Jordan Dean coming away and clearing. Well, not Jordan Dean, that looks like Francis. Here is an attempted pass there, but can only find the boot of the player there in Michael Ferguson. Michael Ferguson finds Marshall to Jonathan Gishard. Jonathan Gishard goes across field to Torres. Torres has all the acre, all the space, and all the goal, and coolly slotted away for goal number 4 in the 36th minute of play from the boot of Torres there. But all let's see there is the Uprising team, and they have got their work cut out for them here this evening. This is going to be what is a sound beating here tonight for the Uprising team. Goal number 4 in the 36th minute of play from the boot of Jose Torres, and he probably could have had his hat trick by now, but it is his second goal, and quite a long delay here, quite a very long delay. What? Not too sure, but the ball is being spotted into the halfway, into the center circle. So it's going to be a throw in there to the Ducks United. This one is really quite one-way traffic. Here is dispossessed there. Jordan Dean cuts to his left, looking for some help, finds Denny Derrick, but ball cut out there by Bowen. Marshall to Brian. Brian trying to go cross field. John Dean picks up and shields very well, and goes all the way back to Darian Carteen goal, who boots the ball upfield. Marshall comes to on control and is driving forward, but again can't break the defense there to get that pass across goal. But in the meantime, the ball goes over the line for a goal kick, a corner kick, sorry. And is there going to be a substitute? Well, it appears as though that Dumas, aka Passion, is leaving the field. And getting his first run out for the season is the man himself, Ken Sam, better known as Vinci. And I haven't seen him a while across these circles. Here is a corner kick taken. Headed in and still go. Well, it ended up in the goal, out the goal. And yes, but the ball there was almost in the back of the net. Jonathan Gishard, as though he was going to just pushed it over the line, but it appears as though, I'm not too sure, it appears as though Jonathan Gishard kicked it instead of into the back of the net, out of the goal, and it could be termed as a really, really good save there for the Uprising, because that one was right on the line, almost over the line, and he kicked it out. So here we see big boot upfield there, but only to find the boot there of Michael Ferguson. He finds Ricketts, dribbling, going to the far side, but he turns and finds Marshall. Marshall one-time pass to Michael Ferguson, who returns the favor. Marshall again trying to get around, well, does get past Denny Derrick, finds Ricketts, who was a shot on goal. And again, that one was just inches over the bar, but if they give him that, if they allow him that opportunity in those areas, they will soon be burned for it, like the Roaring Lions did on Saturday. One strike from Ricketts just in those areas, and that was all it needed for the Ducks United to defeat the Roaring Lions. And so giving him quite license to shoot. Here is ball being dispossessed there. Nat Hodge dispossession, Lawrence. And here's a throw to the Ducks United. Pushed off the ball. There was Michael Ferguson. Here's Marshall. Marshall still does get past Alexander this time around, but can't get past Francis, who shields the ball well and allow the ball to roll over the goal line for a goal kick. Just a few minutes away from the halftime, but it's 4-0 in favor of the Ducks United. 2 goals from Torres, 1 from Marshall, and the other one from the penalty spot on the boot of Jonathan Gishard. Trying to mount an attack is the Uprising, but the ball is put into touch there. The touch there by the Uprising. So taken quickly, dispossessed Torres, but Torres recovers possession, goes all the way back to Ken Sam, getting his first touch for the 2023 season, and he finds Marshall with a nice chip, one-time pass to Ricketts. Ricketts through to Torres again, and yes, I think this time Torres was offside. Yes, this time Torres was offside. He was a little through this time around. So if you have just joined us, it's a midweek match. The Uprising FC looking to get off the mark and having a really hard time in doing so against the Ducks United, who are at the moment in 3rd spot and can certainly go to 10, 13 points and take the number one lead halfway through the first round of this match. Nice back heel there from Torres. A crime torn there by Donahue. But can't find Torres. Here is Francis. Cut out there. Torres again. Here is Torres again. He's got space. Moves and shift past Matthew Brown. Shot and goal! This brother here is unstoppable. Torres. Again, a shift past Matthew Brown. And a powerful shot in the top left corner there of Darian Carty. Goal in the 44th minute of play for goal number 5. And wow, this evening is only going to get longer for the Uprising team. So just a couple of seconds away from the halfway stage, and it's all Ducks United here. All Ducks United just dominating a very disjointed Uprising team. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Well, appears as though they're playing a man down too as well. So maybe that's have a little bit to say for it as well. Here's Francis. Gets past Torres. Finds Cannonier. And that's it. That's the half time whistle. And at half time, it is 5-0 in favor of the Ducks United. Hat-trick from the man Jose Torres. Goal apiece for DeAndre Marshall and Jonathan Gishard from the penalty spot. So we take a break and we will be back in 8 minutes time with the second half, providing that the Uprising team will show again, because they have looked very disappointed and dejected on whether or not they plan to come out, and so we will see what happens. Until then, we take it to Master Control. Welcome back to the second half of our midweek match, the Ducks United versus the Uprising FC at halftime. The scores are 5 goals to nil in favor of the Ducks United. 3 goals from the number 11 midfield player on the left side, in that of Jose Torres. And we had the two men in goal from DeAndre Marshall and from the penalty spot, Jonathan Gishard. I was thinking that I probably would have seen the likes of Remy Minute and the player there in Ricky Young. And for Ducks United, Ben should certainly give these guys a chance to play some football. The the uprising team doesn't don't really pose any threat to their prowess here this evening, and to really um, put out your same team at halftime, the likes of Jonathan Gishard, even Torres himself, Jermaine Ricketts. This can certainly give those guys a rest, because we've got the likes of Smiles on the bench. So maybe I'm just speaking a little too quickly, because here we are seeing where Smiles. Well, is that Smiles? That's Ricky. Um, well, yes, Ricky has entered. Smiles has entered as well, and so we have persons making the way is Jelani Lawrence, and well, that would have looked like. I'm trying to find the other player there. That looks like Caleb Bryan. Yeah, looks like Caleb Bryan has also left the pitch. Here is the Ducks United, but the ball is pushed over the goal line, and that should actually be a corner kick, but referee says goal kick. And I was almost thinking that the uprising team would not, you know, come out at halftime. Here is a pass to that looks like Richardson. He controls, gets by the player there, but can't get by Bowen there. Did get by Ken Sam, but can't get by. And here's a shot and goal. And Darius just shepherds the ball over the goal line for a goal kick. So, first shot, not really on target, causing any harm, but at least they did get a shot off, and making Darius look a little as if he is actually doing some work. Here's Michael Ferguson. He's chased by John Dean. Find Donahue. Donahue pulls back, but loses it and gives a throw in. So you see Passion coming off, and maybe a heavy strapped leg as well. So maybe just pulling something. He has been an integral part for them in their defense. Here is Marshall. Finds Ricky. Ricky backs heel. Jonathan Gishard runs onto the ball, but not before the defender over there in that looks like Hodge picks up, and in the end he has won himself a throw-in. So the Minuteman Ramey's on the bench, so whether or not he will get a few minutes, we will have to wait and see. It's still early days yet into the second half. I'm certainly sure that the Ducks United would be looking to see how many goals they can really put past this really uprising team. Marshall, ball ricochets, bump over the head of Dean and clears by Brown, but Michael Falsenson does cleanup work. So far, Torres, who may be the man of the match, he has had a good game so far. Here is Andres Boynes, finds Smiles, a substitute. Smiles trying to find Jonathan Gishard, and Carty comes nicely off his lines, collects, tosses it out hurriedly there to um, Francis. Francis goes past Donahue as though he's not there, and looking to find Derek, but Ferguson coming and just cleaning things up. They're playing in defensive midfield position. Here is Jermaine Ricketts, and Jonathan Gishard is certainly coming from an offside position, and rightly so. Kevon Harley, the man over on the far side, picking that one up nicely. Here is the kick, finds Richardson. Richardson comes back to Alexander, who just gives the ball away. Jonathan Gishard finding Torres. And it's goal number 4 for the man Torres there. He has got the shooting boots here and making a meal of the defense there for the Uprising team, and certainly scored his 4th goal in the 50th minute of play, and it's going to be 6 goals to nil, with the 4th goal coming from the boot of the man Torres. And well, good pass there from Jonathan Gishard. He held off the player very well there, the defender there, but and you see Matthew Brown is hobbling at the back, so even more chaos there for the Uprising team. And I see one player on the bench there for Uprising, but this is the team that's really struggling since the good friend Guy Quad would have left there. They've been like a ship without a rudder. Here is a big kick there from Francis. Here's Francis again. Blast the ball upfield, but cut out. Here is his brother trying to go past Torres, but picking up a corner for his troubles. So the Uprising team really needs. They've had quite a number of young players, really, but lacks the direction. You can see the likes there of Jordan Dean really trying to help out, but he doesn't have the help that he would like. Here is a clearance there from Brown, and he hobbles all the way back. Chest pass there from Smiles to Marshall. Marshall returns the favor. Here is Steve Austin, and Matthew Brown just coolly comes and covers and allow Darian Carteen goal to pick up. He boots the ball upfield. Donahue being pushed from the back. Denny Derrick finds Francis, but misses everything. And it's Michael Ferguson who does the cleans up work. Finds Ricky. Ricky finds that of Austin. Austin comes across to Ricketts. Ricketts chips the ball over to Gishard, but cut out nicely there by Hodge. Alexander loses out there, but dispossesses Ricketts, and here is Nat Hodge again coming for the upfield, finds Alexander. Alexander cuts inside, but can't find anyone there but Michael in a green shirt. Here is Brad Canadier. Brad looks up, finds Richardson. Richardson comes to Jordan Dean. Jordan Dean chips the ball down the center. I think trying maybe to find Cannoneer running on the left side, but too straight down the middle Darius collects and clears. Here is Ricketts, shields well, goes further to his right, finds Marshall, who has some space, but can't beat the Francis. Francis still has position. Francis still has position, full of energy, finds Dean. Dean goes wide. Whether he's able to keep it in, good work there from the Uprising team. Still with it. Jordan Dean still with it, coming across the middle. I'm getting past Ricky Young, but I'm trying to find the player there in Trey Gums, but cut out there from Austin. Here is Rios. Can't get past Alexander this time. Here is Danny Derrick, finds Jordan Dean. Jordan Dean shoots and goal! That's the way to do it, son. Darius Lanton off his line, and really well taken shot there from the man Jordan Dean, beating Darius, who was pedaling back for all his worth, but only to pick the ball out of the back of his net. And again, caught off the line, and yes, but it's really can't give those players who really shoots the ball well with a strong foot, the likes of Dino Ricketts and Jordan Dean. They really strikes the ball well with that left foot. So just a little bit of energy from the goal. They've been under the cosh for the entire match, and certainly a little bit of spring in the steps. The Uprising team. Here is the Ducks United looking to say, well, that was just a blip on the screen. Good move from Derek. But in the end, he picks up a free kick down the center again. In dangerous territory, almost from where Jordan Dean would have shot and shoot his goal from. And so the wall, Darius is setting at some distance. So what we have with the 18-yard box, and maybe you would add maybe another 12, 13 yards, and that. Here is shot on goal, and Darius can't hold. Can only parry the ball outside for a corner kick there for the Uprising team. And if my memory serves me correct, that will be their first corner kick in some 56 minutes of play. And so that goal is really put a little pep in their step. Here is Dean. A cross coming in. Head going up, and a shot and goal there from Francis. And see a player down the outside, but really shot out the back post there, scrabbling for all its worth. The Ducks United, and it appears as though that Donahue was in the line of fire there. Maybe I'm not too sure whether the ball would have hit him in the midriff or in that dreaded area, the nuggets as we would call it. But he seems to be okay, stretching out a bit. Here is throw taken quickly. And a shot and goal again, but this time Darius handles well. Well, that was Matthew Brown shooting straight down the middle, but this time Darius was right in the way and really collects. But just a little bit of bother there, a little bit of energy being put into the Uprising. Here is Francis, goes for the wide, but cut out there by Austin. Finds Ferguson, who finds Austin again. He's trying to go long to Gishard. Gishard is confronted there by Alexander. He uses his shoulder well, but can't get around Alexander. Torres picks up a little nifty move there from Torres. finds Jonathan Gishard. He has some space in front of him. He pass Alexander, goes past Matthew, who can't stand up and scores a goal. And just goes past the two defenders. Matthew, helpless, can't move, and he is down on the ground. And Darian in goal couldn't do anything. So goal number 7 in the 59th minute of play. And Matthew Brown in as part of bother there. He didn't even attempted a play because he just couldn't get the foot moving. And Jonathan Gishard coolly slotted it past the goalkeeper on the near post for goal number 7. So, here you see Francis trying to maybe kick the ball upfield, can't do so. Here is Marshall, heavy touch there. Here is the fiery Francis. Jordan Dean, the goal scorer, finds Derek. Derek back to Dean. Dean holds the ball up well, finds Francis. Francis goes past Torres. Good move there from Francis. Goes across there and past Ken Sam. Finds Cannonier. Cannonier finds Gums. Gums back to Cannonier. Cannonier goes past Smiles. A cross coming in. Simba. Double clearance there. Still not out the woods yet. The ball is still in the defensive third there. Is the Ducks United. Can't clear now. That looks like Smiles, who eventually picks the ball up. Ricketts to Torres. Torres outside of the side foot pass. And not a good challenge there from Matthew at all. Just riding the challenge there was Jonathan Gishard. And in the meantime, he picks up a throw. Here is Donahue. Trying to just chip the ball inside the box, but defender coming across and blocking the path. Here is Torres. He has already scored 4 goals. Torres dribbles across field and is pushed further away, but finds Miles. And there's a shot from, well, that's Ricky finding Smiles, just laying it back for Smiles, who had a shot and goal, but all the way over the bar, no damage. Jordan Dean, the goal scorer, lone goal scorer for Uprising. Ricketts, he will look to shoot. Ricketts, he will look to shoot. Kartik, though, right in the firing line, he covers and collects nicely. A big hiccup feel, and that's a flick on there, picking up there's a handball there by Simba Boyne. I don't know what Matthew said to the referee, but a card was given. Probably saying things aren't going right, and the referee is not having any of it. We have played some 62 minutes into the 63rd minute of play. 7 goals to 1 in favor of the Ducks United. Again, you see a player on his haunches. Is that Derek? Denny Derek? Yes, that looks like Denny Derek. And they're certainly in the wars. They're the Uprising team. They're certainly not seeing. See one player on the bench who's actually warming up now. And we still got quite a way to go in this match. Some 27 minutes and whatever added time we will have. You're not missing any football, really. Some treatment is being given there to the number 6 player in Denny Derrick. What we can tell you though, it's quite a bit of football in the air. We've got the CONCACAF Nation Leagues coming up next month, final leg. Be hosting teams like French St. Martin. Anguilla will be playing their final match in their zone against St. Lucia. They would have played Dominica twice, and on both occasions would have drawn those matches as well. And will be certainly looking to see whether or not they can um, get all 3 points. Here is the chip over from Francis, but straight down the throat there of Darius Lantern. He collects, tosses out to Torres, and passes to Michael Ferguson. Michael Ferguson is surrounded there by Richardson. He goes to Ken Sam. Ken Sam to Smiles, back to Ferguson, who comes to Ricketts and Gishard. Finds Donahue. Here is Ricketts motoring forward, trying to find Gishard, but Matthew Brown right in the way, clears. Here is Richardson. Richardson and Donahue eventually just pushes the ball away there to the goalkeeper there in Lantern in goal. He goes wide, finds Austin. So we switch position with Marshall. And the Marshall certainly not having a good game, says Francis. Jordan Dean holds the ball well. Dean still, well, trying to force it to there to Denny Derrick and cut out there, but picking up a free kick there. Jordan Dean. It's a trip coming over, and that ball will roll over the goal line, and there will be a goal kick. If I was Jordan Dean, I would have been trying to see if I can breach the defense there of Lantern again from that distance. Here is Donahue, comes to Torres. Torres, one time to Ferguson, who dribbles with it, finds Jonathan Gishard. Nice turn there by Gishard. He's motoring forward, skips past the outstretched leg there of Matthew Brown, but Alexander coming back, and this time doing good recovery work. He finds Dean. Dean goes down the line, finds Francis, just overhitting it. Idea was right, but just overhitting it, and he's acknowledging that he would have done so as well. Are we going to see the Minuteman? Certainly. Be good to see the Minuteman get, what, 23 minutes of play. This game is done and dusted for the Ducks United. That's Jonathan Gishard getting the better there of Alexander. He finds Ricketts, who goes wide, who's smile, who's speeding from his position there at the right back. Finds Ricky Young. Ricky Young chips the ball over. Um, Partially cleared there by Alexander. Here is Ricketts. Here is Ricketts. But Matthew Brown again um, outstretching, clearing, but feeling some pain this time. And I would want to think if I were Matthew, there's nothing else to be gained from this match other than trying to keep the scoreline respectable. Well, somewhat respectable, but Matthew is in a spot of bother, has been in a spot of bother. We have seen where Jonathan Gishard would have just easily moved past him, didn't make an attempt absolutely because of the pain he was feeling, but he is in the wars and saying, well, I want to continue. Whether it's to his detriment, I'm not too sure, but thought I saw a player warming up on the bench there. Well, the player is still over there standing. I'm not too sure why Brown is still on the field, and actually a free kick was given. And I thought it probably would have been a throw. And again, Jordan Dean trying to go wide but slipping, and Jonathan Gishard was right in the path of the pass, so I'm not too sure how he would have gotten through Jonathan Gishard, who is a well-built, stocky, solid player. Another 20 minutes to go in this encounter. It's the Ducks United really in charge and will certainly go top of the table at the end of this match with some 13 points from some 5 matches. They don't have a 100% winning record, but they have not lost any matches as yet either. Here is Francis Torres tracking back, but Francis still has position. Francis goes to the line and trying to find Derek, but Danny Derek maybe not on the same page as Francis. Here is Torres. Again, Torres trying to force the ball through up to Ricketts, but Dean coming across and blocking the path of the ball. Torres finds Ricketts quickly. Here is Ricketts. Smartly comes back to Donahue. Donahue to Ricketts. Ricketts finds Gishard, who just popped in the space, but Gishard can't find Marshall. Gishard again. He does find Marshall now. Marshall, but can't beat the goalkeeper there. Marshall can't beat Darian. And a good block save there from the goalkeeper, but it's still with the Ducks United. They are having all the position here. Michael Ferguson smiles, and that one is going to go way wide. Another 18 minutes or so in this encounter. Derek. Ball is cleared. Here is Ricketts. Finds Torres. And Brown. Well, even with that so foot, Matthew Brown is really doing yeoman service in the defense there for the Uprising team. Ricketts trying to chip the pass there to Torres, but they won't on the same page for sure. But cleaning up at the back is Bowen. Here is Ferguson. Ferguson finds Torres. Torres, Ricketts. And it's a shot and goal. Shot and goal. Well, I saw that coming all the way. Well, Carteen goal didn't see that, but I saw it from here, from my vantage point. And again, these goalkeepers are getting beat from some distance. I'm not too sure. Dino does belt the ball very well, but I don't think they are aware that he does shoots it very well from distance. And so they're been caught out on a number of occasions. And here again, in the actually the 74th minute of play, Jermaine Ricketts really picking up his first goal for this encounter. And goal number 8. And we still got just a little bit more than a quarter of an hour to go. You see the Minuteman, Remy, going to the fourth official's booth, so maybe he's going to get another 15 minutes of play. Here is Cannoneer. Finds Dean. Cannoneer. Ball has been booted upfield. Twigham's misheading. Marshall. Ricketts. Trying to find Torres, but nicely cut out there by Alexander. Good shielding there by Jonathan Gishard. Reverse pass to Marshall. This time, Darian Carty comes off his line and cleans up. And he boots the ball way upfield. Good punch upfield as well. I must say, good punch out. You would want your keeper to really pump the ball upfield, but there is no one there to collect. And it's the Ducks United again, running away with things. And here is two players colliding. That Francis. Here is Dean. The younger brother Francis. Here, Denny Derrick dispossessed. Simba Boyne. Simba Boyne holding John Dean there, and in the end, foul is being had, and who's going to go off? Number 12. It's Jonathan Gishard. Number, says number 12. Well, the board says number 12, but Johnny doesn't want to leave the field. So I'm not too sure what's going on here. Well, the board says number 12. And Johnny says no way. So the substitute is being delayed. Now it's number 13. This time Michael Ferguson goes off, and he will make way for our fellow commentator, the Minuteman in Remy Minute, who is chomping at the bit to really get a do, as we would say, a shot and goal, but one goes wide, and no harm there to the Ducks keeper in Darius Lanton. Kensam flicks the ball over there, trying to find Ricky Young, but he loses it out. Here's Denny Derrick trying to control from the chest, but loses. But Francis picks up. Shot blocked there by Simba. Darius boots the ball upfield, find Ricketts, who turns on that favored foot of his, find Torres. Torres gets past that of Alexander, who finds Jonathan Gishard. Gishard motoring along, but Hodge coming back and really doing some good defensive work there, putting the ball into touch. And that's going to be, it's going to be, is it going to be a, well, it appears as though it's going to be a, well, it's a corner kick. And a very quick one taken too as well. Ricketts. Well, Crichton there and chips the ball over. Heads going up and a good save there from the keeper. Good header there from Jonathan Gishard from that chip there. But Carty in goal, really stretching for all it's worth and just pipping that one over the bar for a corner kick. Into the 80th minute of play. Corner kick taken, clearance, and coming away with it is Hodge. Well, and here is a chance for Richardson. Here's a chance for Richardson, but he just touched it too heavy. And Austin running back for all his worth, picking up the heavy touch there. But the ball is still with the Uprising team. But there was a really good opportunity there for Richardson to really maybe get another goal there for the Uprising, but just touching it too heavy there. Here is Cannonier trying to find Dean, but Dean is dispossessed. Jonathan Gishard picks the ball up, finds Ricketts again. Ricketts finds Young. Ricky finds Ricketts. Ricketts treads the needle. Nice back heel there, Marshall, and a powerful shot just skimming the bar there. And Johnny saying, what? How come that one didn't bulge the whole onion bag, but going for a lot of power and just getting a lot more height than he expected. And it skimmed the top of the bar and it went over. But he had every opportunity to place that one, whether left, right. Really had the power, but not the height. Here is Francis trying to find his brother, but just a little too hard and to the back of him. And that one goes into touch for a goal kick. Oh, sorry, a throw-in. That's what I'm saying. Throw-in here. Here's Francis picking up the free throw. Torres through the legs. Here's Ramey. Ramey getting his Fosters. Finding Jonathan Gishard. Gishard to Marshall. Marshall can gets position. Here is Hodge. Again, comes to Dean. Here's Hodge. Goes past Marshall. Still Hodge. Good ball to Derek. Derek finds Cannonier. Cannonier turns. Well, trying to find Trey Gums, but only find the boots of Ricketts, who finds Marshall. Marshall back to Ricketts. Here's Ricketts, two to Johnny. Johnny has some space as well, but he goes push further wide. Ball crosses, and Alexander cleans up, but boots the ball to Marshall, who looks up, dribbles, goes down the line, and almost maybe giving a penalty there, where again was Matthew Brown. Marshall trying to score with the outside of the boot. Ball partially cleared. Here is Minute with a shot and goal. And that one sails over the bar. So Minute trying to see if he can get a shot and goal. And one being pushed over the bar, and see Marshall picking up a yellow card there as well. So um, certainly not good for him. Leading goal scorers in tournaments so far is Mikai Connor for Lions. We've got Jared Smeens. He has been on fire for the Diamonds. He's got 8 goals. Joseph Tazi, 6 goals. Christian Williams, he's got 6 goals as well. And yeah, it's Uprising, trying to play out. Ball being pushed upfield here to the Fiery Francis. He finds his brother, well, Jelani Francis finds the Fiery Francis. And here it's a chance, it's still, but, well, Denny Derrick leaving the ball there for Francis, and eventually they both left it for no one. In the meantime, here is Joe Menriquez pushing to Jonathan Gishard. And Johnny shoots that goal from an angle, and the ball goes wide. So, Uprising would have played the Limers. They lost 3-0. They lost 2 goals to Attackers. Then they lost 3-2 to the Eagles Claw, and well, they did beat. Yes, well, the Uprising did beat the Western Predators 5-1. So, my apologies. I thought they hadn't gotten off the markers yet. Here is Gishard again, but he's offside. Good pass there from Dino, but but that's Marshall was way ahead of the play, and Kevin Harley on the far side says, "Bring it back here, my brother. You're offside." Here is the offside kick taken quickly. Alexander just boots the ball upfield. Dean collects, gets past the player there in Smiles, and picks up a free kick. Just about 4 minutes, 30 seconds to go. Francis, the ball's been chipped in field, but headed out there. Here is Austin. Boots the ball against the player there in wickets. Jonathan Gishard picks up, finds, well, it appears as though he was going to Ramey. Ramey streaming down the wing. But the ball has been passed to Jonathan Gishard. Gishard's find Ramey Minute. Ramey Minute trying to cut wide, but loses out. Here is Brown. Passes to Jordan Dean. Jordan Dean pushes further forward. Goes past Simba. Cuts back. Finds Denny Derrick. Denny Derrick. He's looking for an option. Denny Derrick looking for an option. Well, still with possession, Denny Derrick, and just gives it away. And the ball is to poke to Torres, who is holding his hamstring. Well, Francis is saying Torres is down, and so we will wait to give some treatment. And I was thinking that Torres should have gone off for a while now. Now he's probably just run himself into the ground, and I am not seeing anyone else on the Ducks bench to replace him. So maybe just a bit of cramp. Almost at the end of this match here this evening. Yes, so you're not missing any play. You would have been looking at the television screen and seeing that Torres was just been given some treatment, and probably maybe just a bit of cramp, having been in the wars of this match. And he will certainly be the man of the match because he has got half of the goals scored so far for the Ducks United. And at the moment, we are in week 4 of 2023. Yeah, it's Francis. Cut out there by Donahue, but Dean picks up. Dean finds Francis. Francis still with possession, trying to go to Steve Austin, but not being able to do so. Here is Ricky Young. Does find Austin, who backs heels to Marshall. Marshall to Ricketts. Ricketts to Jonathan Gishard, but just probably getting him wrong-footed, given away there. Ricky picks up, comes inside to Simba Boyens. Simba to Ricketts. Marshall, Ricketts into the 90th minute of play. Here is Ricketts. They're still trying to see whether or not he can get a goal, but he's been pushed further back. Almost loses possession there, but recovers. Here is Minute, a shot, and ball goes wide. So you see Ramey getting two shots so far on goal. What I can tell you though is that on Saturday we will have the Ducks United versus the Eagles Club, and that should be an interesting one as well. That will certainly separate. Here is an infringement there on Boyne. So on the 18th, Saturday the 18th at 6, it's Ducks United versus Eagles Club. And then Western Predators versus the Limers FC. Then on Sunday, we've got the Uprising versus the Spartans. Here's a shot on goal, and almost heading into the back of the net there, just over the bar, and probably what will maybe, I didn't see how much injury time was put up, but certainly sure that the referee is not going to be too long here. Matthew Brown having a good drive at goal, but way over the bar. Well, not way over, but just over the bar. Here is Marshall, probably looking to see if he can score a goal. Smiles, cuts back, but cuts back in the way of Francis. Loses it. Here is Francis. The ball has been booted upfield and almost finding his brother there, but couldn't control it. Ball is collected there by Darius and tosses it out there, but the ever-present Francis beats Ramey, and Ramey's on his back. Here is Dean. Dean goes wide. Dean, shot, but can't beat Darius this time. And that's the end of our Wednesday featured match here. The Ducks United, 8-1 in their favor, and it goes to the top of the table on 13 points from their five matches. So from their 5 matches, 13 points, Ducks United. In second place, Eagles Club with a game in hand there and 12 points. The Diamonds FC, they're also on 2 points from their 5 matches, followed by In fourth spot is the Rowing Lions from their 5 matches, 9 points. And the man of the match this evening is that of Jose Torres for his 4 goals this evening, and 4 good goals as well. Well, for him, 4 good goals, but that bicycle kick would not show beat my little grandson, but that's the way the football is. And we were happy to bring it to you this evening. We do hope that you do enjoy it. Join us again at 6 p.m. On Saturday, the 18th, when we will have a really good match. Our first match for Saturday will see the Eagles claw, 2 unbeaten teams, the only 2 unbeaten teams in this year's tournament so far, will come up against each other on Saturday. So until then, we bid you a pleasant good evening. Tony Fleming taking you back to Master Control. Until next time.